Imagine Americans raging against their government, holding secret meetings in their homes and garages, caught up in a wave of conspiracy theories. Well, it's an incident that culminated with the shooting death of two U.S. Marshals in Medina, North Dakota back in February in 1983. It was an incident that made national news for weeks, and it's about to make news again.
One of those involved, Scott Fall, was sentenced to 2 life sentences. 2 years ago, we asked for a sentence reduction that was denied. For background on all this, here's my report from December of 2020. A plea to be released from a federal prison in Sandstone, Minnesota this month from Scott Fall. 37 years ago, on February 13th, 1983, he was a follower of Gordon Kahl, a tax protester who wound up in a shootout just outside Medina, North Dakota, in which 2 federal marshals were shot to death, Kenneth Muir and Robert Cheshire. Kahl died in a shootout with law enforcement in Arkansas 6 months later. Followers, Kahl's son Yori and Scott Fall, each received life sentences for their connection to the murder of the U.S. Marshals. This month, Scott Fall, now 67 years old, who is serving his life sentence at the federal prison in Sandstone, Minnesota, northeast of St. Cloud, filed documents in North Dakota federal court under the Compassionate Release Program. Part of those documents read in part, quote, "I'm 67 years old. I have been incarcerated since February 14th, 1983. I have received very little medical treatment over all those years because little has been requested. I do have trouble breathing at times, I assume from a type of bronchitis." Importantly, if you want to honestly consider this request, I suppose I was supposed to have been released by operation of law in 2013. However, dregs in the Parole Commission and in the Records Department of the Bureau of Prisons have unjustifiably and unlawfully extended my release date to 2023. When that date arrives, those blessed scum will once again enlist some new lies, whatever they feel the whim to need, to deny the release date once again. They will do that because they are part of the deep state swamp and have made promises of favoritism to their Lucifer-worshiping cohorts. That has been documented in my legal pleadings and is undenied by the scum, unquote. Earlier appeals for early releases from Scott Fall and Yori Kahl were both denied, and now it's July of 2022. iNewZ has talked with a family member of shooting victims of U.S. Marshals Kenneth Muir and Robert Cheshire. New family victim statements are being collected because in February of 2023, both Yori Kahl and Scott Fall will be eligible for parole after serving 40 years in prison. As we stated earlier, tax protester Gordon Kahl, a believer and promoter of all kinds of conspiracies outlined and derived from the Posse Comitatus, died in a shootout in Arkansas 6 months after the Medina murders. His wife Joan died at the age of 93 in Carrington, North Dakota in 2020. In general, the Posse Comitatus Act is a law put in place after the Civil War, saying the president cannot use the military as a domestic police force, with the exception of an insurrection. Well, Gordon Kahl took that, combined with bits and pieces of other laws, and believed it was okay to not pay taxes and take the lives of 2 U.S. Marshals who came to arrest him back in 1983. Kahl took everything they had and everything they would ever be based on a line of conspiracy BS. And now 2 other believers, Yori Kahl and Scott Fall, convicted of a murder in that incident, are hoping they'll get to step out of prison free men next February, following their rage against the government based on conspiracy theories. We'll keep you updated. I'm Neil Carlson reporting for iNewZ.TV.